beginning of 2025, I left my job. This job was in banking where I traded stocks, and I had a very good salary, relatively. So my salary was in six figures. I had saved a lot, and also I had gotten married. So I had some form of fallback in terms of a buffer, in terms of if I invested or used the money and I needed to fall back on something, my husband could help. And also, in terms of my mindset. So I had been thinking to myself when I started working that when I get into my 30s, I would like to explore the option of owning businesses. So since I was a child, I've been very business oriented. I always had a business going on somewhere. Like in school, I'll sell credits. I don't know, for those of you in Ghana, so if you're trying to buy phone credit on your phone so you can make calls, I was selling that in my purse to my friends in school. And I also started a phone case business. So what I was doing was, at that time, the iPhone had become popular and Samsung phones were also coming up, and most people wanted phone cases and screen protectors for it. And at that time, there weren't too many people who knew how to get stuff from China, so I figured out how to get stuff from China, and I'll order them and bring it to people who want phone cases. So initially I'll show you pictures and then you choose what color, whether you want leather, and different types of phone cases, and then I'll order them and come and give it to you in exchange for money. So I've always had some form of business going on in my life, but when I got my full-time job in London working in banking, it took a lot of my effort, time and energy. So I wanted to focus on that and nail that, and I stayed in banking for about 9 years. So when I hit my 30s, I was like, okay, this may be time for me to explore business again, because I know that I really wanted to own businesses. Like in my life, God willing, I really want to own a lot of businesses. And I thought, if I keep working in the bank with all the energy and time and focus that it takes, I cannot see myself building any businesses or outside of the bank. And the other thing too was that in banking, we learn about diversification, right? For people who invest in stocks, they always diversify. It's one of the best ways to not be fully exposed to one company, and before you know it, that company has gone under or has gone bankrupt and you don't have any fallback. So I said to myself, right now, I'm fully exposed to the company I work for. And if that company decides that, okay, tomorrow we don't need you anymore, or if anything happens to me, God forbid, I will not have anything to fall back on apart from my savings. So I need to get to a point where my savings can do more work for me. So the first thing was to start investing, for which reason I started talking about investing online, investing in ETFs most especially, so I can demonstrate in real time how diversification actually works and how people can take advantage of it. But in the light of that, I also started some businesses. Some have gone really well, some have taken a toll on me, some have dropped along the way. And today I'm here to tell you about some of the businesses I started and how they are going so far, and the things I want to pursue and hopefully manage to diversify my income before going back to work, because I will go back to work. So the first one was, I started a drinks business. For me, looking back now, I look at a business in different lights. I look at it in terms of, one, how much effort does it require from me? Two, how much experience do I have in this field? Three, is this business tied to my image, so that in future, can I walk away and have systems and people work on this business for it to survive? And then four, how much money does it need from me to start, to be sustained, and to get to the point where it can sustain itself? So when I put all these together, it helps me to decide what business to focus on. So the first business I actually tried was a drinks business. And that drinks business was the first time in the UK that I had to work on a business and learn a few things. And for me, I see the businesses helping me to learn more about myself than anything else. So currently, I'm not running the drinks business because of external issues that pressured me, and for which reason I had to put a hold on it for at least 1 year. And now I will be putting a hold on it for a little longer as I focus on a few other things. Hopefully I'll pick it up back again for sure, But as I focus on a few other things to get those to be independent of me before I pick the drinks business back again. What I will say is, before you try a business like that, one, make sure you understand the industry. If it's not an industry you've worked in, you need to take a lot of time to learn about the industry. Because one thing is that if you don't know about the industry, you will pay a consultant to learn about that particular industry. So that's one lesson I learned from that business. The second lesson I learned from that business is how to handle inventory. So most people think, oh, okay, I'm going to sell this or that. If I sell 1,000 pieces, I'm going to make this much profit. Let's say your profit is 20p per one commodity bought. So that means if I sell 1,000 pieces, I'm going to make £200. If I sell 10,000 pieces, I'm going to make £2,000. But what people don't remember when they do all these numbers at the beginning of their business is that if they are going to sell 10,000 pieces, then they need storage that can store up to 10,000, out of which they will sell. Or they need a system that will take inventory from where it's being manufactured to where it's going to be sold, and how long it will take to sell all those. So if I want to become a millionaire, for instance, selling something like that, I need to understand how I'm going to move 1 million plus inventory, because now I need to sell 1 million plus to make a profit of 1 million, if that makes sense. So those are one of the key things that that business taught me. The second thing that I've been doing is showing up online. And I'm not going to lie, I was one of those people that I said to myself, I will never show my face online. I thought it was cringe and all that. But when I started working on my own, I watched a few business podcasts and I noticed how easier it is for your business to move forward when you show your face, and also to monetize something that you already have knowledge in. So I knew that a lot of people wanted to learn how to invest. A lot of people wanted to buy property. So I used my stories about the properties I bought, the properties I'm looking to buy, the investment knowledge that I have, and I decided to show up online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. And as it stands, across all three platforms, YouTube, I have 11,000 followers, subscribers. Instagram, I have 12,000 followers. And TikTok, I have about 6,000 followers. So things are going well in that regard. People just want your authentic self. One thing I learned about that business as well is that it's tied to your image. So it's dependent on you showing up every day. Even though when you post the videos, it can keep going and it can keep getting you paid, especially on YouTube. So I monetized on YouTube about 2 months in, which was great. But your videos need to be engaging. Your videos need to be tied to you, and your videos need to be authentic to be able to get to the point where those social media platforms actually make sense and actually pay you. I've had a few brand deals along the way. I think I've got like 3 main brand deals that I've worked on, and so far I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it depends on me showing up every single day and keeping my content engaging and my community engaged as well. The third business that I went into is the Airbnb business, and this took a while. So because I decided to buy a house and renovate it and use it for Airbnb. So we bought a house and split it into 2 flats. And so far, now that all the works are done and we've got all the approvals, it's making so much money. Now, what I like about the Airbnb business is that it can run without me and it can be run remotely. So since I started working on the Airbnb part of it, or like the short let part of it, I haven't been there. I've had a cleaner, a handyman, and the cleaners pretty much run it for me, if I can put it that way, because when a guest checks out, they'll go in and check everything is fine, they'll report back to me, and then a new guest will check in. And now there are a lot of systems to help you manage all the properties in one place. Have guest messaging, which is automated, so it's only when guests ask you stuff in particular that you deal with, and as long as you've put together the place well, so all the amenities that the guests will need, you would have very reduced conversations with guests, and that can help you to operate it whilst having maybe a full-time job, right? The last business that I tried is something that I called Kriyama Collection. It was a clothing business. So because a World Cup was coming up, I decided that I wanted to try out a business where I don't put in money, but I get money coming out. So I opened a TikTok and an Instagram account, and I branded it as my clothing business. And I got a template and some samples from a manufacturer on jerseys that are very good quality, and also that I can advertise and sell ahead of the World Cup. So I started doing that at the beginning of January, and I did pre-order. So I ordered the minimum order quantity of the jerseys from the manufacturer, and I ordered that with my credit card, so I didn't have money to do that business. But I wanted to see whether what the business gurus were saying about being able to start a business without so much money was possible. So when I ordered it from the manufacturer, my credit card, then I quickly opened pre-orders and started making a lot of videos on TikTok and Instagram about this jersey. And because I knew that I selected a jersey that was very colorful and very nice, I was quite confident that it would sell. TikTok blew up, and all of a sudden I had people pre-ordering the jersey, and I think by 2 weeks in, I had paid for the jerseys that I had ordered with my credit card, and the jerseys got in 4 weeks later, and I delivered all the jerseys to the people who had paid for it. On the day the jerseys got in, I did another video packing the jerseys to the people who had ordered through my Shopify store, and on that day the jerseys sold out. So I decided, okay, I'll do this again. So I went in for more jerseys, but then I had so many customers asking for more that I didn't have, because for me it was an experiment to see how best this will work out, and it worked out so well. So I got another batch in. I did pre-order again. Half of it went during pre-order, but at this time I didn't use my credit card because I used how much money I had made from the first batch to order the second batch. And then when those came in, I sold those all the way into the World Cup, and I think I just have about 4 jerseys left. So I'm so excited about that, because it also taught me a lesson about how to advertise online even before you have a product in hand, and how if you advertise well and you have a good quality product, people who don't know you will give you their money before the product even shows up. And if you also represent yourself well, you have a good website, you show up, you respond to people's messages so that they know that you are not a scammer, they would commit their money to wait for a product that they believe will make their lives easier, or a product that they really want. That was one of the best businesses that opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, so I can definitely launch a business without a product in hand and with minimal amount of money. I'll continue that business actually. So after the World Cup, I took a break from it because most people were just buying the jerseys for the World Cup. But I'm looking to do a bit more launch of some new clothing that I've had my eyes on. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will be releasing some more clothes on there. All in all, I hope this is helpful for someone, because I have a few friends who have reached out to me concerning my business ventures, and they're also looking for some way to start making some income while they're still in a full-time job, so that they can have some form of diversification away from their salary jobs. I think it's a good way to go about trying to diversify away from your salary, just in case anything happens. And so far, I can say that I'm comfortable going back to work, knowing very well that I've put a lot of systems in place to be able to run some of these businesses without me actively running it, and still making a decent amount of money on the side outside of a salary job. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments what your questions are. Let me know in the comments which part you found really helpful. If you want me to delve deeper into any of the businesses, do let me know in the comments and I will come back to you on it. And subscribe to my channel. It's been Abigail. I will catch you later.